Today, I want to encourage you to embrace the new season, the new changes, and get ready to embark on your healing journey. Guys, I can't believe that fall is finally here. Favorite season energy. I don't know about you guys, but I have always been so emotional about the seasons changing. And I don't know if that has any correlation to me rewatching Gossip Girl and Gilmore Girls, but a win is a win. Today, I want to open the floor to conversations about entering into your healing era. The biggest thing I want to say before getting into this video is I encourage you to promote internal change at all stages in your life. Don't wait until you are on the brink of a mental breakdown to start your healing journey. I think it's an ongoing journey. I think it's something that we start when we need it, but you have to put that maintenance in and you have to put that work in to really give yourself the best peace of mind that there is. With that being said, in my experience, the first step is forgiveness. When you are preparing to embark on a new stage of your life, you have to forgive past you for all the decisions and all the pain that they have caused you. A lot of times we look externally and things in our lives that are holding us back and things we need to improve on, but in order for you to have a successful healing experience, it starts with you. You have to look inside and figure out what you need to heal from and what you need to forgive yourself for. Have you ever been so frustrated with the decision that you've made in your past that you just haven't let it go? And you always say, oh, if I would have just done X or Y or Z, things would be different. Unfortunately for you, unfortunately for me, we can't change the past. In order to move forward, you have to allow yourself to let go. The hardest thing for me when reflecting on my past was saying, you know what, Angel, you did the best with what you had. You do the best with what you have. And maybe you know better now, but you didn't know better then. And that's okay. We live and we grow and we have to just let it go. It kind of rhymed. It's getting bars. It's getting bars. As important as it is to forgive yourself, it is equally important to forgive the people who did you wrong. Now, I'm going to be very specific with this because I'm leaving this with no room for interpretation, because if there's girls like me out there from 2 years ago, Angel, this is not for you. Let me bring you in. When it comes to forgiving people who did you wrong, that doesn't really have anything to do with them. It has everything to do with you and being selfish. What forgiveness does for you is it allows you to let go of the resentment that you carried. With that being said, I encourage you to make a list. I'm always encouraging you to make a list, but this time I want you to be specific and I want you to really think and write down every person who you feel has done you wrong. When you are forgiving people who have hurt us in the past, the biggest thing is reflection. Your healing journey is all about reflection. It's all about release and recognition. So when you have a list of these people who've done you wrong, the next thing I want you to do, and I encourage you to take me seriously here, this is gonna sound a little weird, but I want you to practice a forgiveness ritual. This is an affirmation for you to just remember. And I'm gonna read it to you because I don't remember it word for word, but I am ready to forgive all those who inflicted pain and suffering on me in the past. I choose to forgive them so that their action of the past can no longer affect my present. I also forgive myself for anything and everything related to these events, as I was doing the best I could at the time. I think the forgiveness ritual brings a lot of perspective, but more importantly, it's a resource that you have on those days that you're feeling down, on those days when you just can't get over the fact that your ex cheated on you. You have something to turn to. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. You can't just forgive and let go. As much as we would like to encourage you to think that you can just experience something and let it go, it just doesn't work that way. Resentment towards past experiences builds up over time. And as an adult, as we grow into our 20s, that's when some of those past experiences really rear their heads. When it comes to making relationships, making financial decisions, having children, raising children. You think you've moved on from something and all of a sudden something triggers you. That's okay, it's normal. It's okay for things to catch you off guard, and even more so to upset you about your past. But you're not your past person anymore. You are your current self. You are your future self. And you deserve, for you of today, to let go of that resentment as it builds. You're not your past. Don't let it define you. Now, let's talk about your healing journey. I'm going to be very transparent here because I feel like with mainstream social media, people give you about 70% and act like it's 100%. Your healing journey is probably one of the most isolating and most lonely journeys that you will ever experience in your life. You're trying to relate with someone about the way you're feeling and they just don't understand. With that being said, be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself as you're going through this experience. Especially for those of you who have suffered greatly at the hands of others, it's going to be a difficult process. It's a beautiful process. You learn so much about who you are, but you have to understand that you can't change overnight. You have to give yourself time to build new habits and grow into them and find what works for you. Do not place any guilt on yourself. This is a learning experience. Allow yourself to learn, allow yourself to feel, and don't feel bad for anything that comes of it. Most importantly, when you see the light at the end of the tunnel, when things start to make sense for you, when you're like, damn, what Angel's saying today is making sense. It might make sense to you, it might not make sense to others, and that's okay. This is your journey. It is individualized to you and what you need, and that's all right. Last thing I want to say about getting started on your healing journey is that you are not your thoughts. I get so in my head sometimes that I can't tell you the difference between right and left. You have to understand that your thoughts are simply the memory that you have of the situation reflecting back as the person that you were when the event took place. When you reflect back on things, when you have thoughts, when your feelings start coming up, feel them. Don't shut down. Don't get embarrassed. Allow yourself to recognize the things that triggered you and get to the root of why. Let's talk a little bit more about resentment. By holding on to resentment, you are enslaving yourself to the past. Nothing about growing and healing and leveling up is easy. And honestly, when do we ever want to do things in our lives that don't come to us naturally? We don't. Why would we? So be patient with yourself. Most importantly, and maybe the last thing that I'll say today, is that when you're healing, you're doing it for you. This is when you need to be selfish. I'm so proud of you for embarking on this journey. Please let me know what you have experienced in your healing journey and what worked for you, what hasn't worked for you in the comments to maybe help someone else on their journey as well. I encourage you to not hold yourself back from anything of interest, anything that you feel like aligns with you or who you want to be. With that being said, thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. As always, if you have the means, please donate to Make-A-Wish Foundation in honor of my late friend Nyla. And I'll see you all next Sunday, not as late, with another video. Bye guys.